make sure that I catch you lovely people in the evening in New Zealand. Um, and let me just say, if you're wanting to support the fight back in New Zealand, then there's no better place than the adult human female dot live store where you can join in, be the billboard, be visible. That's what we recommend you do here. Be as visible as possible because your government is ignoring you. And I think the police have done a great job. And I think that will come down to individual officers who still want to uphold the law, as opposed to the political capture of the police. So I just have a couple more updates for you and a couple more thoughts about what is happening in New Zealand and why we all globally should be fair warned. Because New Zealand is like a guinea pig country. It's a population of around 5 million people. They had some of the strictest lockdowns. They seem to be very much embedded in wokeness. It's very similar to Canada, but I do believe that they are trying and testing out what authoritarianism looks like, or wokeitarianism, if we could call it that, wokeitarianism, or something, because it's always been said, look, authoritarian and fascism doesn't come as a big fat monster that wants to eat you alive. It basically slowly takes over. It comes as your friend. It comes as someone to protect you from fear. It comes as something that will look after you, that will take away your liberties, whilst pretending that they're doing it for your own safety and your own good. So that's what I think. That's why I think the globe, all of us, should be very concerned about what's happening in New Zealand, because it's like I said, it's a guinea pig country. These are my thoughts. These are my gut feelings. And as far as I'm concerned, nothing else, nothing else makes sense. So often, what you do is you look for something that has some sort of linear logic, and that is the where my linear logic takes me. So I just want to address some of the things said by a woman called Sarah Mayer, and she is a senior communications advisor at PNHQ, which I'm assuming is Police New Zealand headquarters. So the below is what we're saying. Read police response to the protest. Pretty much as what we said at the weekend. So this is on the 27th of March, 2023. This is what we call in the UK an FOI request, a freedom of information request, where a member of the public has raised an issue and the police have to answer. The role of the police at events like these is to keep the peace, to uphold the law. God. While recognizing the lawful right to protest. Police is well practiced in dealing with these events, and our staff work to ensure an effective response is provided based on the circumstances at the time. Police were in Albert Park on Saturday morning, as well as Oatia, I'm so sorry, Square morning, monitoring these events and counter protests. Oatia. As soon as it became clear there was potential safety risk to the Albert Park event, speaker, she was escorted from the area by police staff. Let me just say, that is not true. That is 100% a lie. That is not true. They were told repeatedly. They knew that the people on the ground were hostile. They knew there were about 2,000 people come to protest. They knew the barriers were being removed. They knew all that. No police came into the park. So that is an outright lie. Police did not make any arrests that day. Why would they? Violent threats and actual violence, why would they? But we continue to make inquiries into all reports of the offending during Saturday's events. And to specific inquiries about how many arrests, complaints, what we were doing, etc. Police did not make any arrests that day, but we continue to make inquiries into all reports of offending during Saturday's events. Wait for this, people. This includes inquiries into a collision between a motorcycle and a pedestrian near Albert Park on Saturday. The ambulance was not required, and we understand that the pedestrian sought medical advice. We also reviewing the CCTV footage and video of the protest posted to social media to determine if any other offending may have occurred. Beyond that answer, it is an operational matter, and any questions should be referred to the police. So that's Sarah Mayer. I just want to say that motorbike thing. So There was another something going on, I'm not quite sure what, something about protecting children. There was a march, of a known group in New Zealand, a group I have no affiliation with. I don't know anything about. I'm not gonna condemn them or celebrate them. I don't know anything about them. They are quite, as far as I'm concerned, in a free and liberal democracy, they are more than welcome to hold a meeting about whatever they damn well please. However, they were nothing to do with us. The pedestrian is a politician, a Green politician who said something racist about white men and violence and has talked about me. I don't know what because I don't. She's quite insignificant as far as I'm concerned, but she has a platform in New Zealand. And what she, the collision, there's footage. She literally walks out in front of some motorcycles, and she gets slightly hit by a handle of a motorcycle as it's going by, but that is kind of what happens if you step into a road. On the very day that, I was in the park in New Zealand and that mob surrounded me and I thought I was gonna lose my life. That very day, I was asked about my involvement with that woman getting, run over, I think they said, or hit by a bike, when she was crossing. There was something that was said that implied that it was like a deliberate violent act how she was hit by that motorcycle, and as if it was my fault. Did I have any comments to make whilst I was being told about the fair and loving and peaceful protest against me? So that's one thing. Um, Now the other thing I want to read you, and I find this really quite sobering, and I just want to say again, thank you so much to Paul, the head of security, and his team, who really did. I don't think they've seen anything like this, and they really did save my life. I'm absolutely certain that they saved my life with the help of some very brave stewards and members of the public. And if you watch the footage that I'm going to play again at the end, you can see those people who put a wall around me to protect me, to get me out of that event. So this is Paul's account of what happened. 10:55 hours. A transgender protester that has passed by security as a pro Posie Parker supporter has gained access onto the rotunda and is standing to Paul's right. This person lunges towards Posie, and this person pours tomato juice over Paul and a small amount over Posie Parker. Paul reacts and grabs this person's arm, takes her to the ground, him, and the glue on the concrete floor makes the offender's feet go underneath it. Guard 3 picks up the offender under its arm and takes it down to the crowd in front of the rotunda, and this offender then tries to get back onto the rotunda but is stopped by security. 10:57. Paul gives the order that no one is to be let onto the rotunda now, as he believes Posie Parker's life has now become in danger, as the protesters have now pushed all the metal barriers down and have advanced all the way around the rotunda and have encircled the rotunda 360 degrees. And there appears to be 2,000 raging protesters and 6 security guards and some women marshals for protection. 11:04. No police have come through the protesters to assist Posie and the security and the marshals. To assist Posie, and the security and marshals and protesters are throwing plastic bottles full of water at us, who are approximately 1 meter from the bottom of the steps of the rotunda. We now have been on the rotunda for approximately 14 minutes. Posie and myself have been assaulted. I reach out and hold Posie's hand. As I can see, this is terrifying her. 11:04. I realize that this is about to turn into a full-blown riot, and I tell my security team to get ready to move. Link arms around Posie, and we're going to make a push through the protesters as soon as I say. The only way I think this situation is going to stop people getting seriously hurt and a riot breaking out is to get Posie out of the park and to safety, which should deter any further aggression. I call 111 and yell to the police, yell into the phone as the noise is deafening and I can't hear the talker on the phone. And I yell, "Get the police to the rotunda, Albert Park now. We need urgent assistance." After 5 more minutes of waiting, I informed one of my security guards to push his way through the protesters to where the police were last seen at the rear of the park. Standing on Princess Street, about 100 meters from the rotunda. As no police are coming to assist us, things are getting bad to worse. And with the metal barrier in the middle of the rotunda separating the security and Posie from the aggressive, angry trans protesters, is now being wrestled over, with 3 security guards trying to hold the mob back on one side and angry protesters trying to get Posie on the other. 11:12. Guard 4 has not come back with the police. He informs me later he got to a senior police officer on Princess Street and asked for them to come where we required urgent assistance, but the police officer said, "Sorry, we need more police officers to join us before we go in to assist you at the rotunda." 11:14. Paul moves off the rotunda with security and marshals. Posie's in the middle of the group of the security and marshals, and they link arms to shield her from attack. We get down the stairs of the rotunda about 2 meters away, and the crowd of approximately 100 to 200 trans protesters, realizing we are off the rotunda, and they are doing all we can to protect Posie, and I see her going to the ground. And I somehow reach down and pull her to her feet by her neck, as I know going to the ground could turn fatal for all of us. My guards push the protesters back, and we start moving again, pushing our way through the rampant crowd. And we finally appear out of the back of the crowd, and the police notice the security circle appearing and rush over to surround us. And finally, we feel some relief. 11:18. Police surround Posie and security and marshals. They are pushing off crazy trans protesters at this stage, and we are walking away from Albert Park down Princess Street. One of the police officers yell out to me, "Where are we marching her to?" I noticed a police car station wagon parking close, and I said, "Put us in that police car." And myself and Posie got into the police car. I mean, that's New Zealand. They were warned. The media, for weeks had lied about me. Lied about me. And even in the aftermath of that, they tried to accuse me of having something to do with some woman stepping in front of a motorbike. The impact of John Pasuto and other sensible politicians in Australia pretending that I had anything to do with those despicable, pathetic men turning up to the Melbourne rally. And they didn't even turn up to our rally, they just stood near it. They were closer to the TRAs than they were us. But the lies that were told by the Green Party in New Zealand, by other politicians in New Zealand, by the cowardice and the just menace of this cult and how many people it's captured. That's why we were left to potentially be killed at Albert Park. Because the police probably found it a little too political to come and actually protect us. What were they going to say to Rona, the trans activist, in the police ranks? Actually, we do think that woman needs protecting. Why wasn't there a line of police? Where was my apology? Where was my assurance by the police to say that, if you come back this time, we'll make sure you don't get killed? Absolutely insane. The New Zealand media watchdog, I mean, that's a laugh, isn't it? I feel like the New Zealand media play pretend that they're an actual media. I feel that there's just something weird going on generally in that country with their leadership and so on. But Paul, the head of security, he's done security for decades. He said to me on that day that there was no way the police would be, the police are good people. And I think he's probably right that there are individual officers who are good people. But unfortunately, with the cloak of the cult stifling anything that they do, those good people, if they don't stand up against this tyranny that's forcing police to be political security for this cult, then they no longer are good people. You can't be a good person and turn a blind eye to such corruption. Now, I'm delighted that what happened on Sunday. No, I can't even remember the days of the week. I'm so tired. I'm delighted that so many women were able to speak and the police stood up and were counted. But and that's the first step. That really is a first step. And it's a giant step, but it's nowhere enough. I would like to see a full admission that the police got it wrong on the 25th of March. I would like somebody to come out and say, yeah, we got it wrong. I would like the Auckland City Council to come out and say, we got it wrong. I would like the New Zealand, oh my God, who were they? The New Zealand Therapists Association of Therapists, who clearly all need some therapy. Psychologists and therapists who came out to agree that what I say is hateful. I'd like to see them lose their licenses. I'd like to see us all who know. I don't want, look, I'm not just after people to turn around and say sorry. I'm also after resignations. I'm after ripping the rug underneath everybody who has decided that they can go along with this cult, who they can go along with a cult that mutilates children and obliterates women's rights. It's not going to be enough for me to just change. I want people to be held to account. I'd like Chris Hipkins, you're damn right. I'd like him to apologise. I'd like the next Prime Minister of New Zealand to invite me as their guest when they apologise and admit they're wrong. That's what I want. And I'm just going to look, this is not my only, I'm going to come back and talk to the UK later on this afternoon. I just wanted to say this to people of New Zealand. Your media is corrupt. And if you don't, if you think it's fine because you agree that I am a hateful person, maybe you agree that I deserve to die that day. Maybe you think that women don't deserve to speak. Maybe you think that women don't deserve to have any liberty or freedom in society. Maybe you do agree that no little girl can grow up and dream of being a sports star because she might get her neck broken on the rugby field by some bloke who thinks he's a woman. Maybe you agree with all that. But let me just tell you, you relinquish your power to the state in such a catastrophic way that when people get elected who disagree with you, you can put your own hands in handcuffs because that's exactly what you're doing. This will be on you. Because when authoritarianism reigns, when you allow tyranny to control you through the state, when you allow that to happen, it might feel great and cozy when those tyrannical leaders are actually spouting the stuff that you agree with. But don't think that will change. Don't think that won't change, rather. Don't think that the next lot of tyrannical leaders won't be in opposition to you. And then you'll be the ones chased by the police. You'll be the ones who sit in silence. You'll be the ones feeling gaslit and afraid and isolated in your own country. You will feel democracy is no more. And you will be the ones to have ushered it in. So my sympathy will not be very, very vast for you. Okay, right. Anyway, if you want to support what we do, go to adulthumanfemale.live, which is your chance to do a little bit of this.
Baby, swallowing
Anyway, so there's that. But look, today I've talked quite seriously about what happened in New Zealand, and I'm going to play it again because I think it's worth repeating an infinite number of times just to remind people in New Zealand. I just don't think that women have penises. I don't think any man has a vagina. I don't think there's any such thing as non-binary. And I think transitioning children is profound abuse. And I think women should be allowed to talk about this or anything they damn well please in the public square. And because I wanted to do that, because I wanted everyone to see just what the concerns were for women in New Zealand, this is what happened. So the purpose of Let Women Speak today is going to very much be about showing what happens when women speak. I've genuinely never felt so unsafe in my life, ever.